So, we're here today to talk about the infinite canopy anchor. This is an idea that all started because of one thing. I hate getting my throw line out at the end of the day. And the ART twin line seemed like a really good progression from that because you can link two anchors together in one space. And I think it's really awesome that you can leave a access line in the tree as well. And then, of course, there's the limitless crown anchor that was made by Jake Riggs, which I think is a phenomenal idea. And I actually made one of my own at home just out of some spare scrap. And then I saw Drew Bristow make a cambium saver out of some spare hitch cord and the DMM thimbles. And it really got my brain thinking as to what I could make out of the same kind of material. And what I actually did was I made a double-ended, what I call the infinite crown anchor. And it's really just a double-ended cambium saver. And then I stumbled upon Ned C's video talking about SRT canopy anchors, linear retrieval, and double savers. And what Ned did that I really liked is he has one long double saver that he links, which provides the opportunity to retrieve linearly without any extra gear. And I liked this idea, but what I didn't like is that the small ring is on the end of the cambium saver, which means that you have to pull the whole sling through a union in order to retrieve it. So what I did is I actually had the boys at our obsession swap that around and put the large ring on the outside and the small ring on the inside. So here I'm going to show you how you can linearly retrieve this. So we've just got one friction saver not blocked. And as long as you capture one branch in between the two climbing lines and the sling, you can actually linearly retrieve this with just two accessories and the climbing lines. So there's one side coming out, and here's the other side coming out. And all it takes is a little accessory, and it actually catches on that 28 millimeter ring. And then you can just pull the union out. This is great. It means you can retrieve with your access line, and you don't need a throw line at the end of the day. So here's some everyday uses. So to start, we're just going to install the infinite crown anchor as a soft 8. And then here I've got a just regular cambium saver setup. And you link them together. So the Alpine on the soft 8 that's spiked with a carabiner, I just have this splice hooked to that. And then I can not block another friction saver. Here what I'm doing is I'm actually taking the soft 8 and turning it into a cambium saver that's not blocked. This is going to reduce a little bit of friction, and you could actually set up somewhat of a spider system this way. It reduces a whole lot of friction when you are actually retrieving the device. So here's the cambium saver getting caught by just an accessory, and the bottom leg is also just going to get caught by the accessory, and all this is being retrieved by that blue line. And here you can see, you just pull it out of the union. You do have to get a whole side of the friction saver through that union, but I like that rather than having to pull the whole sling out every time. So here we have a canabase setup. So we have a soft 8 on the bottom end and then a canabase. So of course we're not blocking the small ring. And then you can see it's wrapped over the branch there. That is to make sure that it is that a branch is captured in the in what I call the triangle of retrieval. So that's in between the two climbing lines and the infinite crown anchor. And then, of course, all you need is just a little accessory on the end. And as long as the accessory is on the end, it will catch on that 28 millimeter ring and retrieve, and you actually don't need any excess gear. Here you can see I'm retrieving the canabase side first. You know, the twin line, I think it has a lot of function and purpose, and I love that you can have a secondary climbing line without actually having to go up to your anchor. But here I've got a soft 8, and then I'm going to actually just use the friction saver as a regular friction saver, ring-to-ring cambium saver with my zigzag. And then as long as you take one redirect, you actually can linearly retrieve this as well. You'll just, that soft 8 will kind of sit there and float. Here's another version of the poor man's twin line. What we're doing here is we actually have the very end of the rope just not blocking the soft 8. And this is going to function exactly like a ART twin line. So in order to retrieve this, you actually just kind of put the accessory on and pull down on the splice, and then it will retrieve to the ground. This is great if you have a really short access line, or if you just want to do a quick single up and double down. I wanted to show some more uses for double rope. So this is a multi-anchor setup. So you can see the rings are kind of spanned together. The cordage is not very long. The whole unit is only about 5 feet long, but this length, I think, works good for almost everything. And honestly, if I have to just bring my rope a little bit closer to retrieve, that's fine. The DMM rings that I've used are 28 millimeter rings. They're not the 26 millimeter. So a small retrieval ball like the yellow DMM retrieval ball will actually just pass right through the 28 millimeter ring and catch on that Wichard shackle. So you do need a Wichard shackle to capture that if you want to use the multi-anchor. Otherwise, it'll get stuck. And then here I've got it utilized again. But again, you can just use an accessory. This is the Infinite Crown Anchor. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you checking it out. Thanks.